There's a kick on it too with them rocket chilies. It's quite hot. My name's Luke and I come from a small town called Carnarvon in North Wales. I'm a chef by trade, but in my spare time I like to come up with weird and wonderful business ideas. This time, to keep me motivated, I thought I'd bring you along for the ride. So sit down, relax, and let's build the business together. So, I've come up with a new business idea. It all started when I created a barbecue rub for some wedges at work, and everybody said that it was the best wedges they'd ever tried. So I thought to myself, why can't I sell that, send it in the post and sell it to them directly online? So I started thinking, what domain name should I use for this? And then I remembered quickly that about a year and a half, 2 years previously, I'd tried to create chili sauces, cooked ones, and they hadn't quite worked out. I didn't have enough acid in them, so they weren't shelf stable, and I wanted them to last about a year in a cupboard, but the pH wasn't low enough. So I started thinking, right, how could I create this chili sauce again, but make it shelf stable? And then I saw a video of another YouTuber called Chilli, and what he was doing was fermenting chili sauces, and what that does, it creates lactic acid and brings the pH right down to a safe level, so you'll be able to store it in a cupboard no problem without putting it in the fridge for at least a year. So my business idea is to create chili rubs like the barbecue rub that I created at work, and chili sauces, and sell it all online using the domain name welshchilli.com. So because it's Welsh and I wanted to use a Welsh chilli, I thought I'll use Dragon's Breath chilli. It was the hottest in the world last year until it was overtaken by Pepper X. So it's a pretty hot chilli. So I'm gonna order some of the Dragon's Breath chili's seeds online. But in the meantime, I'll create a couple of sauces in this video, just to have a test, just to see if I can create a nice sauce. So the first one I'm going to do is I'm going to create just a regular hot sauce with red chilies. But instead of using the hot chilies, I'm just going to use jalapenos, just to see if the flavour's right before I add the hot chilies. And then the second one, I was thinking Welsh, we like our lamb, so I'd create a hottest mint sauce in the world. So hopefully I'll be able to use the Dragon's Breath chilies when they're green, because they all turn green before they turn red, to create my first sauce in a way, which will be the hottest mint sauce in the world. So I'll use the finger chilies, green finger chilies, to create that, and we'll see how they both taste. I'll get on and buy some chilies in. I'll order some Dragon's Breath chilies online, and then we'll see where we go from there. So today we're gonna finish off the Max N sauce tester that I did. I just used normal red jalapeno chilies for this, but when I make the real thing, I'll be using the Dragon's Breath chilies. So I fermented it now for about 2 months. Looks very good. Loads of bubbles in it. Right, I'll get this in the machine, and then we'll be adding my spice mix, secret spices in there, about 20 millilitres, 100 millilitres of white vinegar, and then we'll bottle it up. So in here already we've got just normal jalapeno chilies. Obviously when we make the proper one, we'll be using the Dragon's Breath chilies. There's a little bit of garlic in there and some thyme. So let's get it in the machine. teaspoons, 20 grams of the spice mix. One, two, three, four. And then 100 millilitres of white vinegar. Let's turn this around so I can see it properly. Millilitres. About there. Now let's give it a blend. Right, let's bottle this up. I have a feeling that the bottle's not going to be big enough for all of this, so I'll keep the rest in the fridge so I can use as I want. It's a fairly thick sauce because I'm going to make sure that it's 75% chilies, so it's going to be quite a hot sauce. So there we go, Max N sauce. Smells very strong. I'll give it a couple of weeks and then I'll give it a try and tell you what I think. So today we're going to try out a recipe, test recipe for the hottest mint sauce in the world, hopefully. So in the real one we'll be using the green dragon's breath chilies before they ripen, but for this one we've got rocket chilies. So I'll need 470 grams of rocket chilies, 10 grams of Hallenmorn sea salt, 5 grams of garlic, 5 grams of rosemary and 20 grams of mint. You may think it's a mint sauce, there's not much mint in it to think it's a mint sauce, but there's only, if you have a look at the ingredients in a mint sauce pot, there's only 4% mint. So as long as you put 4% or more, it should taste nice and minty. Right, so we'll get chopping. Start off with the garlic. Now we'll move on to the mint. And now the rosemary. And finally the chilies. So I've come to the end of cutting the chilies and I found out that there's not quite enough. Even though I got 3 bags of 250 grams worth, the stalks must weigh quite a bit, and there was a few reds in there as well. So there's only 430 grams. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make the rest of it up. So I need another 40 grams of garlic. I reckon the recipe would be better with more garlic anyway than 1 clove. So I'll just do that now. we go, so that's all the chopping done. Let's get it all into the machine. So final recipe is there's 45 grams of garlic and 330 grams of chilies. Right. Chilies in. So when you're fermenting, basically you're adding salt to whatever you're fermenting. There's two ways of doing it. You can either make up a brine solution where you add 2% of salt to water, or you can do it this way by creating a mash. So as long as you weigh out 2% salt to the amount of other stuff you put in, then it should all work fine. I put a little bit extra in as well. I put an extra gram just to be over the 2%. So there we go. Let's create our mash. Right, let's get it into the fermentation jar. I'll pour it into this jug first. It should be quite coarse, so the salt is well mixed in there with the herbs. Get it into here. So how fermentation works is the salt keeps all the bad bacteria away, and then the good bacteria create a lactic acid, which keeps the food, so it helps it keep for longer. And what I've got there on the jar is an airlock, so when fermentation happens, the oxygen all comes out and it gets replaced by carbon dioxide. Right, let's get it into the jar. Wow, I can smell the mint and the garlic too, pretty strong. I'll clean the mess away from the edge of the glass later. So ideally you want to keep about an inch off the top. Let's pull a little bit out here. There we go, that's enough. So need to keep about an inch, and that inch of oxygen will get replaced with carbon dioxide. Right, what I've got here is brine solution, 2% salt to water. I'm just going to use it in this airlock here to stop any bad bacteria from getting down. There we go. I'll put that away now in a cupboard for about 3 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks, and then we'll have a try at the end. So today we're going to finish the hottest mint sauce in the world, the test sauce that we did. So in here, as you saw earlier, I have the chilies mixed with salt and mint and garlic. So we'll stick this in the machine. I'll just grab a knife to help it out. It hasn't created as much bubbles as the red one has, because green chilies, they don't have that much sugar in them, so it doesn't ferment as much. So it's been going about 2 weeks now, and there was a little bit of air bubbles, but not as much as the Maxen sauce we did. So to this chili mix, I'm going to be adding some 100 mils of malt vinegar, and then 5 grams of cumin and 10 grams of sugar. Now these are all the cumin, the mint and the rosemary that we put in the start, are all flavours that go with lamb pretty well. So I thought I'd add them to the mint sauce for an extra dimension. Okay, that's all the chili mixture in. Now I'm going to measure out some cumin. So 5 grams of cumin. There we go. Add that. Then 10 grams of sugar. Oh, that's a little bit over. Just tip a little bit back in there. And still a gram over. There we go. That should be fine. And then 100 millilitres of malt vinegar. I'm using malt vinegar for this because that's what you usually use to make mint sauce. So I thought I'd stick with the same flavours. There we go, that's 100 ml. And in the machine, and let's blend. Right, there we go. We'll transfer this into the jug first, and then we'll bottle it up. There we go. And as before, I think we've got more than the amount that'll fit in the jar, so I'll keep the rest in the fridge. So there we go, it's all bottled up. I'll keep this in the cupboard with the Max N sauce, and we'll give them a couple of days and we'll give them both a try. I'll be back soon. So it's been a couple of days and the chili sauces have been maturing. It's time for a taste test. I'll try the red Max N sauce first. Smells great, actually. Not too much vinegar flavour. You can definitely smell the garlic. Very nice sauce. Yeah, you definitely taste the garlic coming through. It's not a hot sauce because I've only used jalapeno chilies, but if you put dragon's breath chilies in there, I reckon it'll be cracking. Yeah, I'll definitely be doing that sauce. I'll be sticking to that recipe for the Max N sauce. Now let's see how the hot as mint sauce has turned out. It's a bit thick. I'd probably thin that down. It's a nice flavour, but doesn't taste like a mint sauce. There's a kick on it too with them rocket chilies. It's quite hot. If I was to do this again, I'd probably change the flavour. So I might create another video with a second attempt at the hot as mint sauce, and I might take away the rosemary, take away the garlic, and maybe the cumin as well, and I just leave the mint, sugar, vinegar and the chili, and I might thin it down as well, forfeit the 75% chili content, and maybe do half and half, so half chilies and half mint. I reckon that'd make it taste much more like a mint sauce, and I can call it a hottest mint sauce in the world because of that. So that's it for this video. On the next video, hopefully, I'll have the dragon's breath chilies, and I'll be showing you me planting them and growing them from seed. So I'll see you on the next video. If you like the video, guys, please subscribe. We'll be giving away free prizes after we reach 1,000 subscribers. Please also like and comment. We like to know what you think of our videos. We'll see you on the next video.